Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Music is a Journey. I'm Peter. Please excuse my voice today. I woke up with a bit of a sore throat this morning, so I'm going to try to get through this video by speaking in lower, sexy tones. Yeah. So I was actually not planning on making a video this weekend. I have 3 different ideas queued up and I'm not ready to do any of them. However, this morning, I saw a video on YouTube and I thought, okay, no, I've got to do this today. Otherwise, I'm not sure when I'll get the chance to next. So Chris over at Stylus Meets Vinyl is celebrating reaching 1,000 subscribers. And I have to say that it is no surprise that he got there. Chris, he's always got this really friendly smile. He has this really warm, friendly way of speaking. He has an interesting variety of music that he talks about, and he usually does a bit of research or he's fairly knowledgeable about what he's talking about. So all of his videos, any of the ones I've watched, have always been really worthwhile watching, and I always felt that there was something interesting that he mentioned, or maybe even talked about some albums that I'm interested in checking out. And if all else fails, he also has a really cool fiancée who has made at least one appearance in his videos, at least if I've seen. So anyway, congratulations to reaching 1,000 subscribers, and in celebration, he is having a contest, the Around the World contest, I believe it is. We're looking at 8 records, people. He's got to show 8 records or 8 albums. And what he's asking for is an album representing each of the 7 continents. Yes, you heard that correctly, because when I was watching it today, I thought, yeah, but there's one continent, Oh, I suppose Gwar are from there, because they used to advertise they were from the frozen wastelands of Antarctica. But I don't have any Gwar, so I guess that's out of the question. So anyway, no, you've got to show a record by a band or an artist, one from each of the 7 continents. And because there's nobody who's actually native to Antarctica, he invites you to think outside the box, do something creative, something about Antarctica. I actually considered doing South Side of the Sky by Yes, but I found something a bit better. Song about penguins, a song about coldness, mountains, icebergs, whatever. Actually, there's a song called Iceberger. Fruit and Icebergs, I think it is, by Blue Cheer. But anyway, so yes, so it should be 7 records, one from each of the 7 continents, or representing those continents, and as well, an 8th album should be specifically from Canada. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Which one should I do? So yeah, without further ado then, let's get on with this, and I'll make some comments along the way. Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt this video here. I was just watching Rob at Northern Revolutions doing his video for this contest, and of course the very first thing we are supposed to do is to shout out another channel. And I actually had a list of all the albums I was going to talk about, and at the top of the list were 3 people I wanted to shout out, and I was going to narrow it down to 1, and the channel I want to shout out is Cristian Osorio. Cristian recently started commenting on my videos, and he told me that he'd been watching my videos for a while, so I was very grateful to have him express his comments, and then I checked out his channel, and I've been watching 2 or 3 of his videos. So I think he is down in Chile. I'm not sure if it's Santiago or not, but that's where he is. So for my channel, shout out for this contest. That's the first thing you gotta do in the contest, even before you get to the 8 albums, is to shout out another channel. So for Cristian Osorio in Chile, I'm shouting out his channel, and I'll put a link to his channel in the description as well. Okay, now on with the rest of the video. Holy crap, I can't believe I forgot this. So first of all, representing Asia, of course I'm going with Japan. And I think I have shown all Japanese bands and artists in my collection since I've been doing this. However, I just got this one in the door just a couple of days ago. This is a band called Flipper's Guitar. They formed in the late 80s and were inspired heavily by a lot of British music. Very soft melodic melodies, really anyway, ear-friendly music. So this is their debut album from 1989. It's called 3 Cheers for Our Side in English, and the Japanese title was Umi e iku tsumori janakatta. We never intended to go to the beach. And on the cover it says, the boulevardiers are gone. A forlorn banquet on the sunlit street. Believe me, we didn't mean to go to the sea. Flipper's guitar, neatest musical carabank ever. Anyway, I borrowed a Flipper's guitar CD. It was probably a compilation because they had 3 albums and then they had a compilation in 1993 and they broke up in between 91 and 93. And I remember there was one song from that compilation, The Story of My Red Shoes. I think that's what it was called, right? My Red Shoes Story. Sorry, that's it. My Red Shoes Story. I always remembered that tune. And I thought, I've always liked it, but I don't think I want a Flipper's guitar album in my collection. However, recently my music interests have been starting to go in that direction. And I found this for a really cheap price on Yahoo Japan auction, so I got it for just a few hundred yen. It's used, but in very nice condition. Debut album, 12 tracks, and yeah, the story, My Red Shoes Story, as well. There are a lot of other songs on here I found I quite like too. So there we go, Flipper's guitar from Japan representing Asia. So next, where are we going next? We're going to go to Australia, and I think I did a video just last year about all the Australian and New Zealand artists I had in my collection. So I'm going to introduce you to the absolute latest one. And unfortunately, there is no CD available. It is an EP of 4 songs. It is available only as a piece of vinyl, which I don't have a record player, so I don't get it. I won't get it. Or a download. And I usually hate to buy downloads only. But I thought this music was so good, so I decided to get the download. And just to play a sample off my phone. Yeah. So this is, I'm finding myself leaning towards this style of music quite a bit recently. So that is a band called the 1980s from Australia, from Melbourne, Australia. And I'm not really sure of who most of the band members are, but the drummer, I believe his name is Ben Rankins. And apparently he's some kind of big name in Melbourne anyway. So yeah, I really like the sound of what I heard. So I paid for the download from Bandcamp. Yay. No CD, but what can you do, huh? So that's from Australia then, the 1980s. Next up, what are we looking at? Africa. So actually the only album I have from Africa that I remember is a band called Freedom's Children from South Africa, but I recently talked about them. So I thought, what else do I have? Well, since we can talk about things maybe related to Africa, I decided to go with the song Africa, the opening track from the debut album of Thundermug, the album called Strikes from 1972. This is a really catchy, cool song. It has bird noises, it has a driving bass line, it has a very fun, catchy sing-along melody, it has a kazoo solo. What more could you want? So, song about Africa by Thundermug. The song is called Africa. Alright, but Thundermug are not from Africa. I think they're from Ontario. Alright, so that's Africa. Next we're going to move over to Europe. Boy oh boy did I have a hard time with this. I just kept thinking of band after band. And as I was looking for one on my shelf, I realized I haven't talked about this fellow for a while. This is Joost Maglev. Joost Maglev. Rhymes with toast. He told me that. So anyway, Joost Maglev. And this is, geez, I don't remember how many albums he has. He's got about maybe 5 albums out now. This is his second to most recent one, Alter Ego. It's from a couple of years back. He is a bass player and composer and singer. And he is from the Netherlands. So Joost Maglev, he has a really interesting approach to music. It's progressive, but I think he's kind of free in what he puts in. So an album of, what is this, 6 tracks? Yeah, a 9 track, 8, what the heck? It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Right, okay, so 9 tracks. But anyway, there's a fair bit of diversity on here. What was the one now? Something, I forget. Anyway, it's a cool album, and the one before this I also really liked. So, Joost Maglev from the Netherlands, representing Europe. All right. Okay, next up, so South America. Almost every band I have from South America is an 80s thrash metal or first wave black metal band, with the exception of, well, Sepultura, who started out as that kind of thrash black metal type, but went into a more normal thrash metal type. And then there was Pax, which I talked about recently, late 60s, early 70s, heavy psychedelic band. And then there was one other one, Fleur de Loto, which is a metal band mixed with Peruvian folk music. And I thought, okay, I gotta show that one. But while I was looking for it, I don't remember where I put it now, I happened to stumble across this band here. This is a band called Anima Mundi, and I've been thinking I wanted to find some excuse to talk about them, because they are a symphonic prog band with mellotrons, all sorts of keyboards. They have a really cool female keyboard player. They have this 17-minute, 42-second track on here and another 16-minute and 29-second track. They have a few albums out and I have 2 of them. The only thing is Anima Mundi are from Cuba. So Cuba is not technically South America. In fact, when I was checking up on what's the actual geography of Cuba, all reference points mention things in North America or around North America. So I think Cuba is actually on the North American continental plate. But when we talk about North America, we're usually thinking Canada, the United States, and Mexico. But because of their, Spanish culture, which is most of South America, I'm going to choose Anima Mundi from Cuba to represent South America, just because of the Spanish connection. And very interesting band too. I don't remember where they are up to albums now. At the time I bought, I think at the time there were 4 or 5 out, and I have their second or third and their 4th one, I think. Anyway, Anima Mundi, and I hope that will be accepted as a representation of South America. Otherwise, I do have a black metal, first wave black metal album over here. But we are supposed to show only one album. So going on to North America, again, so many choices. But as I was digging around in my shelves back here, I found a band called Over Forward, who are almost entirely an instrumental band. And I forget which part of the States they're from now. Somewhere near the Great Lakes anyway. Might be around the Great Lakes or a bit south of that. But anyway, Over Forward, really good progressive rock, mostly instrumental band. I think I have 4 of their albums on CD and one other one on download only, which I think the guitarist gave to me, because I found out about them because the guitarist reached out to me on Prog Archives and asked me to review his band's album, which I did, and then I always thought I should get one, and then a new one came out, and I ended up getting everything that was available. That's it. He actually sent me the downloads for the first 3 albums originally, and then I just went and bought whatever I could. So it's a band called Over Forward, but they spell it without the vowels, except the first one. So it is OVRFWRD. And this album is called Blurring the Lines, a something manifesto. A democracy manifesto. I think that's what it was. Anyway, really cool band. Lots of great stuff on this and all of their albums. Okay, and Antarctica. So what are we going to do about that? Well, as I said, I found something a little bit better than South Side of the Sky. This is Immortal from Norway and their album Sons of Northern Darkness. And the second to last track on this album is called Antarctica. So there we have it, representing the continent of Antarctica, a song by Immortal from Norway. Okay, cool. That's the 1990s Norwegian black metal band. All right, and finally from Canada. So again, so many choices, so many things to talk about. But I decided to pick something that might appeal to the greatest amount of people in the vinyl community. So I'm going with a band called The Grapes of Wrath, and I think this is their 3rd album. Now and again, it was released in 1989. 1989, indeed it was, yeah. And this, they started out more of this, 80s alternative melodic jangle rock pop kind of sound. But by their third album, they really evolved. There's more acoustic guitar, there's some string orchestration, there's tubular bells, there's some electric guitar in some parts, a couple of songs a little bit more rocking, but a lot of songs just really good melodies, dual lead vocals, or at least one lead vocalist and a second guy who comes in often. I have 3 of their albums, and this is still one. I think this is a classic. A classic. It's called, what did I say? It's called Now and Again. And oh, let's see here. All the things I wasn't. What was going through my head. I think Blind was also one of them. Not the Way It Is. There were a few songs that were regularly played on the radio, at least in Canada. So representing Canada, I say The Grapes of Wrath from Kelowna, British Columbia. Okay, and that then is my entry for Stylus Meets Vinyl, his Round the World contest. I hope I did okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Link to Chris's original video in the description below. So hopefully lots of people will join the contest, and I'm looking forward to seeing other people's videos as well. And good luck in the contest to all people who enter. All right, thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.